The Indian team has played its first and only warm-up match ahead of the first match of the T20 World Cup campaign, which is on the 5th of June. And there are certain answers that we were looking for in this one match that India were to play ahead of the start of the main tournament for them. And has it given us those answers? The one man we were really looking forward to seeing in action and what position he bats at was Virat Kohli, but he wasn't to feature in this particular match because he'd only reached New York yesterday and it was too early for him to then be introduced straight into the action. But regardless of him not playing, we still have an answer as to where Virat Kohli plays for the Indian team, because that was the biggest takeaway or the biggest talking point in the build up to this match. In this video, we're going to be talking about the three big takeaways that we have from this match that we've seen between India and Bangladesh. It happened at the all-important cricket ground where you will have India play its first two matches. In fact, they will be playing Ireland over there, they will be playing Pakistan over there as well. In fact, the third match also that India play, if memory serves me right, is at this particular venue only, and then they play the fourth match in Lauderhill before action shifts to the Caribbean for the Indian team. Having said that, let's start quickly with takeaway number one without further ado. The one thing that can be said as far as what we saw from this one match is that Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli are going to be your opening pair. Now the question you may have is as to how that can be said when Virat didn't even feature in this particular match. Two reasons for that. The fact that Yashasvi Jaiswal did not play anywhere for that matter. You had wickets being lost consistently, not consistently per se, but yes, you saw some wickets being lost for the Indian team, but nowhere was Yashasvi Jaiswal seen batting. That's number one, factor number one. Also, this is to be borne in mind that Yashasvi Jaiswal, barring that 100 that he scored, didn't have a very good IPL. So all in all, that, and let's put in a third reason over there as well, because so many experts, everyone believes that Virat Kohli, with what you saw from him in IPL 2024, where he finished with his highest strike rate as well in IPL history. You've seen him change gears, you've seen a different avatar of Virat Kohli. Everything points to the fact that, and because he played 2 months for his franchise right up top, is going to be the right fit for the Indian team as well. Everything just aligns to one factor over here. The one big thing that it indicates is that Virat Kohli will again be opening now for the Indian team too. He continues to be the opener that he was in the IPL. Now for India as well, he will be the opener. Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, that becomes your biggest takeaway, because the other way of looking at what you saw from India today was that there were two right-handers who came out to bat, when India did have the option of having a left-hander in Yashasvi Jaiswal open, but that wasn't to be. You went in with another right-hander in Sanju Samson. Now speaking of Sanju Samson, and that points me to the second big takeaway that you have over here. The fact that there is another debate going on, and this is an answer that you were looking for, that who plays between Sanju Samson, Rishabh Pant, who plays? The answer that this match gave you was that it is Rishabh Pant who plays. Why? Two reasons for that. Rishabh Pant firstly gets to keep the wickets, and that's always a big indicator. Rishabh Pant was looking fine. Rishabh Pant kept the wickets for the Delhi Capitals as well. Everything about his rehab, about his accident is well past him now. Both of them scored nearly the same amount of runs at a very, very good rate as well in the IPL. The tick boxes that you were looking for both of them, you got them in the IPL. That's reason number one as to why Rishabh Pant plays ahead of a Sanju Samson. The second is what Rishabh Pant, the figure Rishabh Pant, the cricketer, offers, and that is, as many people believe, that he's a big match player, that he, even though it's happened in a different format altogether, Rishabh Pant, the fact that he can really be that X factor for the Indian team. He knows how to soak in that pressure. That's the other thing. And in fact, let me give you a third reason as well. The fact that he's a left-hander now, that helps you play around with your batting composition at times if required as well, because that is something that the Indian team has always wanted to do, but hasn't always had the personnel, hasn't always had enough left-handers. So you add Rishabh Pant in the mix. Where he bats is something I'm not going to touch upon in this video. That's another debate altogether. But Rishabh Pant gives you that left-handed option also. So the fact that he comes in with that reputation of being an X factor, the fact that he's a left-hander, the fact that he kept the wickets today, got a 50 as well, might I add. Sanju Samson did not score runs today. On the contrary, you had Rishabh Pant, who was then retired out because you wanted to see how the others were performing. He scores a 32 ball 50 if memory serves me right. So that's the second big takeaway. The third takeaway, now India had as many as 8 bowlers feature in the match, as many as 8 bowlers. Even somebody like Shivam Dube ended up bowling 3 overs today. Even then, there was no Yuzi Chahal mentioned. Yuzi Chahal, who you took to the Indian squad, who you named in the Indian squad when nobody was really talking about him, was a pleasant surprise and a welcome one at that, because he was still amongst the wickets as far as the IPL is concerned. But he still doesn't get to feature at all. Now what that tells you is, unless the Indian team looks at a change in conditions in the second half of the tournament or the business end as well, because Super 8s, it's all going to be there in the Caribbean for the Indian team, you're not looking at Yuzi Chahal perhaps featuring for this Indian team, and Kuldeep Yadav, as was expected as well, becomes the front runner, becomes somebody who will then be given preference over a Yuzi Chahal. Even an Akshar Patel at the moment with the ball looks ahead of him because of his batting ability, but just man to man, skill set to skill set, if you were to compare Kuldeep Yadav, Yuzi Chahal, if there was ever a doubt as to who starts, Kuldeep, as you know, has become an all-format bowler for the Indian team. That becomes your third big takeaway, that even on a day when India in a warm-up match try out 8 bowlers, Yuzi Chahal wasn't in the scheme of things for Rohit Sharma and the Indian team management. So those were the 3 big takeaways as far as this match between India and Bangladesh is concerned. What is India's 11 going to be like? That still remains a big question, and we'll really have to wait. As Rohit Sharma said, that he'll tell things once he's there, at the World Cup. We'll really have to wait for that time to come as well. As to what India's 11 could be, because there's so many 11s that you can make with the pool of 15 players that you have as well, that it really will require a lot of time and energy. But we're getting there. India play on the 5th. We're not too far away from the 5th, and soon enough we'll have all the answers, and it'll make for a very good conversation whether or not India did the right thing by having enough seamers, not having enough spinners. All those things are going to be debated upon as we move along in this World Cup.